Our tickets for the Running Aces Pick 4 will be on the website, NAHUpicks.com, Sunday. And we'll also be tweeting out, hey, this Pick 4 is coming up. It's $7,500. You're not going to play it? What are you, stupid? Which, I mean, if you are, there's nothing wrong with that. We could be friends then.
We have been playing a lot of these tickets. I know I punch my tickets. Whenever I put tickets out, I'm punching them.
Yep.
So I'm not.
Although, are you playing?
There's no way I'm going to put a ticket out that I wouldn't play myself. That's all I'm saying.
You're
And
punching them
on what day?
The same way.
What day was that? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night. The ticket that I posted, I got beat a nose for $550 in the last leg, which was very heartbreaking because it ended up paying $50 when I had a horse.
It paid like $40, I think $40.
But you know, it's amazing. Getting beat a nose for $550 still pays $0. This Pick 4 starts with race number 7. You know, you really got to amuse yourself in this life, because you can't amuse yourself. What's the point in living? This Pick 4 starts with race number 7. Race number 7 being a maiden race. And last week, or I think it was last Sunday. Last Sunday, we saw this race be the race that really made the Pick 4 worth playing, because a 30-to-1 shot managed to win. And this time around, I don't know. It's really, I've always found maidens in harness tough, especially when looking at a circuit like Running Aces, where sometimes post really matters. Sometimes horses will just surprise, like last time when that 30-to-1 shot won. But this time around, and Mike, I feel like that's kind of what you're going for. You're basically trying to cover all of your bases of potential prices to snag in this first leg.
Well, you know, I don't like the one in the race who's 3-to-1 morning line off all these breaks, and you know, now gets the rail, and that's really no picnic either for, you know, these horses. So I'm against him. I'm going to go 5 deep. I like the 2 Street Commander, who was entered last time as a first-time starter, scratch 6. So who knows here? But I like that qualifier. Kicked home 27-4. Draws inside again. You know, a puncher's chance in a race with very little form. The 5, a rock in place. This horse has been getting checks at the level, has been taking money, keeps the driver. So another use, does get off the rail here, and that might be okay for this one. The 6, Squirrely Sue, likely favorite, raced well last time from the 8 hole to be second at 3-to-1. I would think that that's probably the horse you have to beat, but the horse is 0 for 20. So how do you trust that one? And then the 2 outside ones, the 8 Pecan, third start back, raced okay last time, first up, ended up being overtaken and was third. And then the 9 Dakota Island, you know, the first start wasn't horrible, was 20-to-1, made up 7 lengths, close to 7 lengths, came home in 28. I don't mind that. The horse, you know, showed some ability, so a price worth using. 2, 5, 6, 8, 9.
Rod, for you, you don't necessarily go as deep, but it still looks like you're taking one shot at least.
Yeah, well, kinda. I guess my thought here is I'm going to use the 1 Joker John defensively. I mean, we know the horse is fast enough. He has a braking issue that's obvious, but if he stays flat, he's right there. He probably wins the race for fun if he stays flat. So I'm using him defensively. I don't necessarily like him, but I'm not going to let him beat me. The 2 Street Commander, like Mike said, I was using this horse last time, ended up being scratched, and you know, that was a really good qualifier, really nice final panel. It is a 2-year-old, so you know, be cautious using this horse. He's probably going to sit on the inside and just get a start in, but we'll see how he does coming off that really good qualifier. And then the 6 Squirrely Sue, I think is pretty obvious to have on your ticket here. You know, coming from off the pace last time, just got beat. This one deserves to take some money and should be on everybody's ticket, I would think. So 1, 2, 6.
Everybody is certainly close because I do use her. However, the one thing with Joker John I was confused about, this horse seems to break so much. If you look at his past performance lines last out, he has a line that says DX. That's right. He made a deluxe break in his last start. So I don't necessarily know how you could use this horse in any way other than defensively. That said, I don't even use this horse defensively. You'd think he could win for fun. I think he might lose for just as much fun. Squirrely Sue, though, Mike mentioned she's 0 for 20. That last race in particular stands out really well, though. That sentence didn't make much sense, but we're going to nix that entirely. She still rallied well from second over to just miss at odds of 3-1. She was bet. And that was the thing that's worth noting, too. She was bet in her first start off of the fair circuit this season. Now makes her second start. Presumably is going to take a bit more play off a line like that. One thing, though, she definitely might benefit from not being as far off the pace. That's the one thing. Stevie, if you're watching, first off, do you like to be called Stevie? Second off, maybe not get away too far back. But the other horse then is the 8 Pecan. I agree with Mike on this one for a potential upset. This horse moved first over last time, although she quit around the final turn, ended up finishing third behind the two horses that beat her, because that's how you finish third in a race. But making her third start back, especially off a line like that, she seems to be on a trail of improvement that could hopefully continue to grow in a positive trend. So I'm 6-8 in the first leg of this pick four. The second leg of the pick four is race number 8. Condition claiming event for hours of 5 to 6. These are pacers going for $6,600. Field of 8 going posted here. I thought that this was another tough race, and we all managed to go 3 deep. So Mike, start us off.
3 deep to 1. Sinalta Diamond off 2 in a row. Steps up. The horse has been dominant from outside posts and has won 7 times this year. Impossible to leave off. And, Svensson stays. I prefer him driving to Longo, even though Longo did fine. He's the one that trains the horse. I just think a must-use all around. The 6, Cruising for You, possible upsetter, has been closing. Has closed, 3 out of the last 4 starts, won 4 back, and then has been third, at prices, 2 out of the last 3. Against these types, gets a perfect post, and I do think they're going to, be moving early, especially with, these inside horses, the 1, the 2, the 4, all like to be up front early. I feel like this horse could get a setup from the back, and then the 8, Mr. Ranger, came off the layoff to win, at this level, now second start back. From the outside, I would imagine we'll be blasting early. Hopefully he can get a spot, and this horse just might be better. I feel like improvement is coming with the second back, 1-6-8.
Rod, you're not 1-6-8, but you're somewhat close.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. The 1, I think you got to play 1-3 of her last 4 starts. Last one was really good. This one's a must-use from the rail. And you're going to see a driver change on the 3, most likely here, because Jerry Longo trains the 1. The 4, Lincoln, is another one I'm using. Got beat last time, and I thought raced well. It was first over for a long ways, and just kept digging and just missed. I'm going to use again, thinking this horse is probably going to make a move a little bit earlier in this race. And then the 6, Cruising for You. This one, obviously, should be coming from off the pace here, coming off a really good race. Has been close in most of his starts here at Running Aces, and just makes sense from a standpoint of there's a lot of speed, and this one is the one that can outclose some other horses in here going, these quicker miles, and draws well to follow some cover. So 1-4-6.
The Novel of the Diamond, I definitely would not argue if you would decide to single this horse, because I remember a couple of weeks back when Lincoln was kind of the hot single to use in this sequence. He had a very similar racing style to Sinalta Diamond, i.e. the prerogative is just go and don't stop going. Sinalta Diamond now drawing inside even further, 1 wire to wire from the 9 hole, then from the 7 hole. God knows what happens when she does from the 1 hole. She might win by so much they'll have to put her in. They might have to arrest her. I'm worried for this horse. I feel like she could decimate this field terribly and not be allowed on the grounds ever again. But other than that, there's also the possibility that she doesn't do that, of course, because she is moving up in class, and whether that move up in class is significant or not, it's hard to tell, but she's still worth using. I do use Walkermeister, though. I don't care if Jerry Longo's driving or not. This horse raced well last time out, moving to the lead, sat pocket, then re-rallied to finish fourth by a half length. That's a much improved effort from his races against the numbers of $850 level. Excuse me, I'm allergic to performing. But this horse, making her fourth start back here at Aces after shipping up from Cal Expo, to me, draws well again. Could work out a similar trip and may just have a little bit more in the stretch. And then the 8, Mr. Ranger, raced really well to win at first, asking after shipping in from Miami Valley, or rather just from Ohio in general, and one going nearly wire to wire, 54 flat. From post 6, getting the lead after parking to the quarter. If this horse shows as much speed from the outside as he did there, he could definitely be a factor at this level again, making a second start, shipping up here. 2, doesn't necessarily hurt. 1, 3, 8 in the second leg. Third leg then is the open pace. This was a tough race. Rod, you're deepest of all of us with 4.
Yeah, I'm sticking to the middle of the gate here. I'll start with the 4, best in the business. Last time sat the rail. I thought put in a decent effort there against similar company. Most of these horses have been racing together through the meet. I thought, only be 2 lengths, should be used, gets a decent spot, doesn't have a ton of early gate speed, so this is a good spot for this horse to get away mid-pack and maybe get some cover to follow. The 5, Fire Drake. I throw this one on. He was just okay last time, but he was too far out of it to make a big impact because they did come home pretty well, and it was tough to make up ground in that race. So I use him just thinking he's going to be a little bit closer and could get a nice trip. The 6, Stevensville, is obvious. He's going to be firing early. Been very sharp recently, and he adds Lasix for this race, so a must-use for me. Then the 7, Hawks Red Chief. Another one trained by Rick McGee. Bobcat. Dean McGee jumps on. This one's owned by the Burks. And they sent this horse up here, I think, for this race. This horse makes sense. Been really sharp the last 4 weeks. And should be taking a little bit of play. And I really like that Bobcat jumps on. So 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mike, you use the same horse as I do, and as my voice has been running low on this show, tell me why the 6, 7, 8 are the numbers you go.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8. The 7, 8 are obvious. They've been racing this open handicap and racing basically, beating each other. To the limits 1, 2 in a row. Hawks Red Chief had won, 3 races prior to that. They went 51-1 together last time. You don't really see anything close to that on the page. And I just think that they're the best too, even though they draw outside. They have the speed to get out early and contend. The only horse they have to worry about is the 6, Stevensville, who is very good, climbing back up the ladder, gets Lasix, raced at this level last time and lost it to the limit, but just lost by a length and did all the work there. A nice horse that likes the place. Has made $500,000. Can't argue with the class. The Lasix is interesting for a horse that's 7 years old. I mean, I don't know how much that's really going to help him, but it obviously can't hurt. We'll see. 6, 7, 8 there for me.
I couldn't agree more. Final leg of this sequence is race number 10 because it's the 4th of 4 legs. It's a pick 4. What do you expect? A pick 5? That's not what we're talking about. This is a... What? Who's coughing on my show? Claiming condition race to cap things off. Now winners a 4 to 5 for a purse of $5,800. I'm single to the 4. I don't really see much in this race. Always a little more to me just stands out the most. I'm just going to get my qualms out of the way for this one. I have no real strong opinion about this race, so I basically just found the horse that had the most form. Mike, you're going a similar route, except you're singling the 5.
Yeah, I like the 5. This horse was racing numbers of, 5 to 6. Those races 3, 2, 3, and 4 back, and really had very little chance. Was up against Lincoln and Swagasaurus Rex 1 back. This horse is interesting because this is I feel like a lesser bunch than he's been facing. Gets a decent post in here. Left last time and then ended up with a little bit of a shuffle in a race that he probably wasn't going to win. So, a lot of these other horses, if you look at horses like the 1 and the 4, they've been closing into races where horses have been, leading the entire way and they've been picking up pieces. I have no interest in a horse like the 4 that was 27-1 last time and is going to be 2-1 this time. I feel like the 5 is going to be a price. He's going to be ignored in the pick 4, and if I can catch him, I'm going to be able to cash a nice ticket. So I'm going to use the 5.
Well, I didn't ask to be insulted, Mike.
I wasn't insulting. I'm telling you what I saw.
Rod!
I'm 3 deep. I'm using both of your guys' horses for similar reasons. And I'm also using the 1, Forgive Us Our Zins. Better draw. Was 3 deep down the backside last time. Just got a little bit tired on the end, which was expected. This horse raced well. I think this horse should be much, much closer and is going to be a contender. Price is going to be a little bit short, but I think is a use here in this particular race. So 145 for me.
Well, then my pick 4 ticket goes follows. Better get these numbers down because I'm only going to repeat them in the future. So my numbers for 50 cents goes 6-8 with 138 with 6-7-8 with 4. $9 for 50 cents. Mike, your ticket.
2, 5, 6, 8, 9 with 1, 6, 8 with 6, 7, 8 with 5.
22, 50 cents.
27, I guess, yeah.
You guys have been giving me bad math, Rod.
27.50.
Seeing if you pay attention. My ticket's 126 with 146 with 4567 with 145. It's $54.
As said, that does it for another edition of Mr. Wongo's Magic Farm. By that I mean North American Artists. Can we change the name of the show to Mr. Wongo's Magic Farm?
No.
I should kick both you off the show.
And high five's a mandatory payout tomorrow at Mohawk, even though we didn't get to it because we talked about I don't know what for half an hour.